Hello, Galaxy. Chris Pirillo here, forgetting where the camera was for a second. Streaming live for another edition of the Locker Room Daily Reporter, TLDR for short. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here live. If you are, quiet day, by and large. I have steeped myself in AI. I've been trying to find some kind of uh, project to throw myself into, and not to say that the projects that I have are not enough, but in many cases they're not. I mean, if something doesn't necessarily pay the bills, now that I've like many people been looking for a next position, instead of going somewhere to find that position, I'm going to do the classic Chris Pirillo move and create the position that I'm looking for. A typical entrepreneurial move, and no stranger to being independent at all. However, would still need to drive into something. I mean, that's the nature of it. Many people don't seem to understand that. They think it's cut and dry, and that a path to success is a straight line, and it's never that way. It never is. You can't expect that, and you have to be driven by a vision that very few people could understand, or could even come close to understanding. And unless you've walked that path, you can't fathom the process, and at least understanding or valuing the people who have to go through that process in order to get out on the other side. And having done, so many things over the years, I've definitely stopped short before getting too far into an idea, knowing that in order to be able to get it from point A to point B, it would require a certain amount of resources. And I'm happy to report MakerDeck is I wouldn't say going off without a hitch, but I would say is doing very well. The challenge with MakerDeck, however, is it's not really, there's not an opportunity for it to be a full-time job, a full-time gig. It's great. It's fantastic for what it is. There's plenty of room to grow, plenty of options there, but very much, steeped in community-oriented activities. So it's not something where, like with a lot of hobbies, there may not be a lot of money in it, so to speak. So doubling down on that would not necessarily be the most fruitful thing I could do with my time, given that I'm the only one around here who does the work that's required in order to keep the status quo, or to make ends meet. So I have to consider very heavily what it is that I spend my time on. It's not as easy as you'd think, because, for example, a lot of the jobs that are out there in tech, well, if there are jobs in tech, Amazon's laying off another, 9,000? We talked about that in the tech news yesterday. A lot of the jobs out there that I might be qualified for aren't there. Or the ones that are pay half as much. So I have to consider, well, do I want to spend my time doing twice the amount of work for half as much? That's possible, but unfortunately, that leaves other options on the table. It's not a cut and dry, especially when you're talking about parameters that aren't exactly in alignment with what it is that I might be interested in doing. So I could check the boxes and say, yes, I'd be able to do this, that, or the other thing. There are certainly jobs out there, but whether or not they would be able to make as good of use of my time, it remains to be seen, which is unfortunate. There was a post on LinkedIn the other day from another community professional who was suggesting that maybe he was seeing kind of a change in the shifting of the winds with community, seeing it couched under marketing, which has been frustrating for me from the beginning. But that's like tilting at windmills to expect that the industry is going to change the way it views community and how it couches community, suggesting that community professionals have to basically recalibrate their skills or apply their skills with a different job title, which is where I've had recently gone to more of a product manager role at Intel. And I feel I could find myself easily in another project manager role. It's the question of, well, what's out there to be project managed, and is it interesting to me? Is it interesting enough that I can eat, sleep, breathe it, and understand it well enough that I can do the job as well as maybe somebody else can or could? And then it's a question of, well, what is the salary in and around that type of project management? And there's no clear answers. to those questions. But I watch technology a lot closer than I think many people, or certainly you might. In the sense that it goes a little beyond. Well, let's talk about the day's news for sure, but the implication of today's news has always been compelling to me. So over the past few days, well, really weeks, if not months, my head has kind of gone to, well, maybe I need to produce another event. Well, what is that event going to be? And I posted something on my personal YouTube channel, the Everything YouTube channel, yesterday. Really kind of brain dumping and saying, well, maybe I think I need to do a tech event, and I framed it in a way where I was with my thought process. The tech event that I might do would kind of be in the spirit of Gnome Decks back in the day, but really, which was, I'm very happy. I'm very proud to say, in doing an event, I've never lost money, which, as you very well know, if you've done anything with events, is a huge win. Most events lose money, and not to mention, a massive loss of time. But the outcome is usually that people remember the experiences that you create. So I thought, well, maybe I do set the stage for technology influencers connecting with technology brands, and then basically putting them together and having these conversations. And it made sense to me at a high level, but I'm not sure if there was enough of a foundation to make something like that work. Moreover, more than one individual had said, well, that reminds them a lot of LTX. I'm like, well, it's not like LTX at all, or it wouldn't be. But once you've reached that status, like where someone is comparing you against something that is not even close to being in comparison against, then you kind of have to retool your approach. So I kept thinking, well, what's driving my interests right now? I feel like, I enjoy 3D printing, but there's, if we do anything with that, it's going to be a lot less impactful in terms of what it is we can do it what we can do with it based upon what other people are doing with it and how they're doing it. But we're still going to do something with MakerDeck. We'll still move forward with that. But I have to think kind of a bigger picture with technology. So the thing that interests me with technology is having, been a creator and really living. Oh, I forgot that. Speaking of, I forgot to tag everybody. On Discord. My bad. Let me do that again. Let me do it again right now. I apologize. Happening now. Now, come on. If I don't do this, then people won't know. Happening. Right, what was I saying right before the show started? When you are everything, when you have to do everything, it's difficult to do anything well. So let me tag all the relevant tags. I hope y'all are following on Discord for all of the roll reactions, so that you're tagged when certain things happen. Okay, so that announcement went out. Something I should have done before streaming. So I want to do something with tech. Kept thinking, well, what is it that really interests me about tech? And I am absolutely if you couldn't tell by some of these recent TLDRs that I've done, my mind goes immediately to AI. And whether you call, whether it's AI or generative AI or patterns masquerading as AI, it's still fascinating to me and transformative, disruptive in a way that I have not seen an emerging technology be in a number of years. I mean, I knew that the internet was going to be disruptive. I knew that. As soon as I got a hold of it, as soon as I saw it, like for the first time in '92, I'm like, oh my God, this is the future. There's no way that life has changed. This is it, right? And I knew my entire life would be recalibrated around that as the prospect. Just didn't know what it was going to look like. And so it took me, I went through 4 years of college to get the degree, but ultimately not really doing anything with that degree and falling directly into entrepreneurship. So I knew that the internet, there was something there. I just didn't know what it was. And I fell into it. I evolved into it. And that, I will say, paid for this house. Everything that came from there paid for everything that you see around you. It gave way to so many opportunities that otherwise I would not have had. So I come back to transformative technologies. And instead of being scared as a creator, as someone who enjoys creating, putting myself out there, instead of being scared by the technology, I think, well, how can this be embraced? What's my role here? When the industry shifted a few years ago, migrating more towards algorithmic content, I found myself at the outs, or on the outs, at the out. What's the phrase I'm looking for? English major here, obviously. Got a command of the language, clearly. I felt like I had lost my place, and I needed to reinvent myself and who I was and how what it was that I was doing could make an impact, shifting so that I could make an impact. So I effectively I took a step back because I couldn't just lean in on something I just didn't I wasn't able to really put a finer point on, which had, of course, did not stop experimentation and trying and seeing what works, seeing what sticks, what doesn't, what's going to work, what's going to have an impact. But that's exactly where I'm like, all right, well, I can't do what I was doing on my own anymore. So let me go the traditional route. Let me try to apply my experience to the benefit of another company. So I was at Intel for 4 years. Well, now within a few days, my stint at Intel is over. So I'm thinking, what's my next thing? What's my next move? What is the next thing I need to throw myself into in this career that has been long and winding and amazing and devastating and defining. AI right now. When I try an app, I launched this app. I talk about it. It's a simple app called Magic Draw for kids, and then sketch out like an Imperial Walker, like an AT-AT, and then like seconds later, it creates this art. I am absolutely blown away. Just blown, giddy, excited when I see these tools. I was always, with Locker Gnome in the early days, I was always excited when it came time to seeing new software, a new website. Software always excited me, always. And so when I look at the landscape today, every day a new AI utility releases. In fact, as a matter, right now, I got in. If you didn't know, Google launched Bard. That's their ChatGPT competitor. And in my limited experience, Google's got a way to go. ChatGPT, or by way of Bing, right? If you use Bing, I just use ChatGPT straight up. Google, it needs some work. I said, hey, make an acronym for this word, and it didn't even come close. I'm like, yeah. I mean, ChatGPT sometimes doesn't come close, but it comes closer to a lot of the queries that I might lay out for it. But still, every day, every single day, the news cycles, tech news cycles, are dominated by AI. And in many ways, these tools that are being released are disruptive to the point where, as someone who's got a background in writing or creative writing, I could look at this and go, all right, well, like, write 3 paragraphs about how AI is transforming creative writing using creative words and descriptions, as well as let's say what can we metaphor to better contextualize this for a novice. So let's see how it does. So I'm on Google Bard, asking it to write 3 paragraphs. Now, ChatGPT would whip this out. Now, granted, it's thinking right now. It's doing its thought. There, bam, just like that. Now, I'd probably have to go in there and tweak it. Because this is obviously created by a machine, and to better personalize it. But it just instantaneously gave me a foundation to go on, where I had the idea, gave it the context or prompted it. And even with Google Bard, what you can do is you can even view different drafts, which I really like. I like that feature about Bard a lot. This is like, to me, that's a huge win for Bard. But here, like draft number 3 is very long. It's extensive. Now I could say, make a presentation about that. Let's see if it does it. I know One day it will. It'll pump it into slides. I don't think it will. I'm guessing. This is a guess. I don't know if it's going to do anything. Wow. Hang on. Title: AI, creative writing, author, Bard. Okay, it did a presentation. So can you put that into a PowerPoint with design? I'm asking too much now. I know I am. Or maybe I'm not. I don't know. I haven't done this yet. You're seeing it happen in real time. Oh my God. Oh my God. So it may not have made the deck, the actual deck, but it gave me the points. Y'all, we are on the bleeding edge of what this technology is going to do and how disruptive it is. So I get excited when I see this stuff. Now, am I a developer? No. Can I product manage something like this? Maybe. Can I see the creative uses of it? Absolutely. So I'm thinking, all right, I want to do an event. I'm a creator. I understand technology. I understand where it's going. But right now there's a disparity between the people who are, driven to create organic content and next level thinking, which is going to be largely driven by artificial intelligence and quote unquote artificial content, which is going to be just as valuable in the marketplace as organic content. And there may be a premium placed on organic content. So again, mixing all those things together, I crowdsourced it. Well, really more of a trial balloon. It wasn't a crowdsource. I put out there, I'm like, I really want to do another tech event. I have a feeling it involves creators, AI, software, platforms, marketers, all this, coming together. And it just ideated in public. I said, like creative, artificial meets organic, or camo. So I've been working with that. And already within the past day, I've had 2 meetings today. 2 meetings set for next week that are critical, including what could turn into a major sponsorship from a company. That'll be that may be a very interesting conversation. One of the conversations I had today is with a PR professional who has worked in tech. In fact, I think that's probably where we crossed paths eons ago when he worked for a tech company. And he leaned in. He said, are you looking for help with PR? I'm like, absolutely, because we need to tune this story. We need to be able to shape this, because the way I want to do this, in many ways, me talking to you right now, you're listening to me talk about technology, but how things like Google Bard and ChatGPT are impacting me, how tools like Midjourney or DALL-E impact me. That's why this news matters. I want to do something with it instead of just talking about it. Talking about it's great. Let's talk about it. But I want to do something with it. And the thing I want to do with it is host conversations, critical conversations at this crossroads between organic and artificial. So right now I've been ideating and even using AI to ideate the word. What is it called? And so I keep falling back on the idea of camo, right? As the root, like C:AMO. Camo, but that's not enough, because you can't get the camo handle, you can't get the camo website. It's got to have something. There's got to be something associated with it, and whatever that is, I really don't know. But the crux of that is very much again driving these focused conversations and enabling these collaborations to happen, so that we can get past the scary part of like, well, I'm an organic creator, so to speak, and all this artificial intelligence is coming along and it's going to disrupt me. By putting it out there, I've now basically lined up a PR guy. He's in. I may have already found an event, an organizer, basically an event manager, who is also someone who's been laid off from it. Like 3 of us, I wasn't laid off, but I mean, effectively, for all intents and purposes, laid off. We no longer have jobs at companies. So we're looking to, throw ourselves into something. He's hosted events, like developer events in the past, and he's got an interest in what it is that I've laid out. So those are the 2 meetings I had today. So within a day, I've potentially found someone who could help manage, someone who could drive PR and potentially content. Next week, I'm talking to not just a local potential collaborator, but a potential sponsor, as well as someone who's also been active in the creator space and is interested in the future of AI and may have skills that could very well translate into, propping up what it is that I want to do. Now, with an event, with this tech event, because again, you're thinking, Chris, what does this have to do with tech? It's all tech. AI is all tech. Creators only can do their thing because of tech. Like, this stuff matters. This absolutely matters. Your favorite creators need tools like this. So I know that you may not be a creator yourself, but you support creators and you enjoy what creators make for you.
Why don't magnets win beauty pageants?
Because they're stuck on themselves.
No, because they're so attractive.
Why do they win beauty pageants?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do that dad joke later. That's a good one.
Because they win because they're so attractive.
I get it. That's a good one. Good science
Why?
one. All right, good one.
No, but
you don't understand it?
No.
Well, how the hell did you get the joke?
From Tom and Friends.
Okay, so magnets have like subatomic particles, and each one there's a polarity to those particles, right? So they're either positive or negative. So so the magnets that we have down. Do we have any magnets in here?
Nope.
Do we?
I don't know.
I'm gonna see if I can find a couple of magnets. I don't really keep a lot of magnets around, honey. Okay, can you do something for me?
What?
Can you go get a couple of those magnets from the refrigerator that I 3D printed, and I'll explain magnets and the laws of attraction to you? So when there's seemingly an opportunity, my 3D print is done. Oh, I wasn't even showing you my 3D print. I did an Arabesh calibration cube because it's fun. I can host conversations. I can bring people together. I have experience that goes all the way back, which is part of the story. It's not just doing an event. It's basically all my DNA is going into the event, being a creator, having been there at the inception, and really, without sounding too much of a braggart, I helped pioneer what it is we have today. Whether it was pre-blogging days, pre-podcast days, early live streaming days, being there at the beginning of all of these transformative platform experiences. And I feel the timing is right to effectively put a finer point on this as a focal point. But I don't just want it to be an event. So I don't just want to call it the camo event. I don't just want to call it the camo expo. I want to call it something that is indicative of being a conversation that continues. It's not just an event, but it's a community where you can come and gather online. There will be like a Discord server set up for it, Twitter account, email, newsletter, connecting people with resources, specifically creators and technology. That's the junction right there, creators and tech. That's where I feel that's where the connection is specifically made. And right now, I feel that the future is always going to be impacted. The creator future is always going to be impacted by artificial or augmented technology, right? It's just not. It's not going to disappear. So the word is heavy today as artificial AI. In many ways, technology itself is artificial. It's not something that just exists. This is a tool, but this is a tool that we created, right? And how we use it creatively is going to continue. That definition is going to continue to evolve. So I feel that that's enough of a foundational word, and maybe at some point the A would be short for something else. But hang on, we got Pookylicious coming in. There we go. Thank you for joining. I'm waiting for Jenna to come back with the magnets. Okay, so there's a polarity in them. They sent a gift box. I haven't opened it yet.
Baby Yoda?
I don't know. I haven't opened it yet.
Baby Yoda?
I haven't opened it yet. Okay.
Now?
Here, let me show you. Honey, I'm doing a live stream right now, honey.
So?
Thank you. Well, I don't want to be rude to the people who are watching, but I also want to explain magnets. So there's a polarity in a magnet. There's what's called a north and a south. And these particles face either one or point one direction, a pull one direction or the other. So a compass is actually a magnet. And a compass, the needle usually points north, and the reason why is because the magnetic north, or the North Pole, is pulling anything that's got iron in it, that's got the propensity for being magnetic, that direction. So the needle it always points north in the compass because it's a strong magnetic pull that's at the top of the globe.
But why does it say
Okay, here's why. So north and okay, so remember, there's two polarities, right? There's north. And I think I'm saying this right. Hang on. There's north, and what's the opposite of north?
South.
So when something's attracted to each other, north is attracted to south. But watch what happens when I try to get these two ends to connect, what happens?
It just
They here, try to push these two things together. Try to push them together and feel what happens. It resists. Why? Because you're trying to make north connect to north. North is not attracted to north. North is only attracted to south. And south is only attracted to north. So when they talk about magnets being attracted, that's exactly what they
What
mean.
if it's south and south?
Can't do south and south.
What about
North is only attracted to south, or south is only attracted to north. They will collide because they're pushing. They're pushing. So imagine if you're pushing, let's say you're pushing out and I'm pushing out, what happens? We resist each other, right? But if we're both pushing the same direction, right, there's flow. So we have an opportunity to work together when we're pushing the same direction, right? And the same direction means north connects with south, connects with north, connects with south, connects with north, right? That's north and south attraction right there versus north or south. And that's exactly why I can make that move without touching it. Watch.
Oh, can I see?
That's what's happening there. That's repelling. Why is that repelling? Why? I've explained this. You can use north and south. Why is this repelling?
Because it's pushing away.
Yeah, it's pushing away. But why? What would both of these be?
North and south. Oh, no.
North
South.
and north.
North and north.
It's going to push away. But the moment you get it to flip to the other side, it's going to attract. And that's why it's a joke when they say magnets are attracted. It's the force, right? So that's how you can move that magnet without touching it.
You can keep this just in case.
No, just take it downstairs. Put it.
Just in case.
Jedi,
Just do it.
honey. Okay, either take it down. No, I don't. It's got to go back
Either
downstairs.
Take it downstairs or what?
Well, put it. Can you put it back where you got it,
Why?
Jedi? You asked to explain it, and I took time to explain this to you, Jedi. You asked. You came up with a good joke.
Because there are monsters down there.
There's monsters everywhere. No, they're not.
They're hiding everywhere.
No, they're not.
They're hiding
Really?
in your closet.
No, they're not. Clothes are hiding in your closet. Only clothes in your closet, no monsters.
But
You went back and got that. You went downstairs to get them. No monsters got you then. If you don't put the magnets back, then the monsters will get you.
Why went fast?
Good. There are no monsters, I promise. At least in the kitchen. I try to take care of all the monsters for you. Try being the operative word. Well, put it. Okay, then just put it on.
If you're there or Mom
Put
is there, then they won't come out.
That's not
because
true.
they're scared of
That's
you.
not true.
Yeah, because they're
That's not
scared
true.
of you.
But it has monsters. Maybe you're more scared of monsters than they are of you. Monsters, maybe they just need to be understood. Remember Monsters Inc? They just needed to be understood. Remember? To many people, Grogu looks like a monster.
No.
Yeah?
No.
To some.
No.
Some people might be scared of him.
No.
Oh, you don't believe so?
Some people think that Darth Vader is scary.
Well, that's their prerogative, but they're 100% wrong because Darth Vader is clearly not scary.
No.
Nuh-uh.
You're wrong.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you're wrong.
That's not how opinions work. All right, so just put it back or put it on the stairs to go down.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll put it on.
All right, this has just been a jam-packed TLDR tonight. Anyway, so my head has been swimming in AI, swimming in the creative process of ideating, and out of putting something out there. Oh, so I'll have in the next. I think within the next year, I'm going to have a tech event. That's the bottom line. I think it's going to. I feel it's going to happen within the next year. How it happens, I've got a meeting next week to see how whether we're going to couch under another event. Hands-on learning should not be overlooked. Nope, don't disagree. Of course, I'm not necessarily the best at explaining science, but I did my best. Okay, so anyway, Bard was released today. That there's some tech news for you, but how it's relevant to my life as well. Give me a second. Here's another bit of news. TikTok bans deepfakes and non-public figures and fake endorsements in rule refresh. So they're starting to tamp down on artificial stuff easily. And it's going to be a matter of time before they're just going to be overwhelmed with artificial stuff. and tools that empower organic creators are going to be powered by artificial intelligence. But TikTok's going to do its best to keep its head above water. They don't want changes. Clearly, they don't want changes. But that's them. I'm not sure how that's going to play out. Remains to be seen entirely. I'm watching it with great interest using TikTok. Although I did not TikTok. When I'm done with TLDR, I do want to do something with Jedi, and I want to try to do at least one little Star Wars figure thing as well. Okay, so the next one that we've got, going back to Discord here, under, where is it? Did Google Bard. I'll come back to that. Another one. The DALL-E has rolled out on Bing. So you can go to bing.com/images/create and get images. So if you want to use DALL-E, DALL-E is as close to Midjourney as you can get, and it's free. I would expect this quality of image from Midjourney, quite honestly. DALL-E. So I did a chocolate Darth Vader on the beach. Share, download, high quality, and I did like colorful Darth Vader shapes on white graphic design, and I actually tweeted this. No, I tweeted this. I thought this was kind of cool. I'm like, what? That's so cool. I like that, and I guess a lot of other people liked it too. So the link is here. I'll give you the direct link because I guess it becomes a permalink right there. DALL-E right there. There's a link to where you should be able to get to it. I think this exact generation. I tried Star Wars shapes and they just didn't really come out very well. I'm like, let me be a little more specific. I also did, this was what you saw in the beginning was a Stormtrooper stained glass. I thought the second generation worked a little better because I first was Stormtrooper on stained glass. The second one was stained glass Stormtrooper. Like this to me looks like stained glass. Like this is incredible. This is incredible. Not words, phrasing, and your prompting. So I plan on playing around with this a lot. So how about how we do scene where human content creators are mixing with artificial intelligence represented by robots. Right? What? But apparently I burned through a boost. Create images more quickly with boosts. I guess they're getting swamped. Y'all, quit clicking on the links I give you. Hey, we're generating here. I'm trying to give a visual for what it is that I'm trying to put together. It'd be a funny little visual, right? I'll keep having to iterate. And I have a feeling like what we could do is like you can get a free ticket to the event if you generate the art that we use on branding. And like you keep generating it, right? But look, so robots, humans, meeting in a village marketplace outdoors. So I'm iterating. So instead of giving it this neon scene, what I'm doing is prompting and saying, here's where I want you to do it. Now, if I had Midjourney still, I would use Midjourney for this. But I basically stopped. I stopped using Midjourney. And at some point in the future, ChatGPT will be able to do something like this. Guaranteed, it's going to blow. Yeah. Okay. So this is what I'm looking at. This is what I like, right? Like something like this, right? A little freaky, but you know, it's humans and robots intermingling. I know it's weird, but this is the future we're looking at with content. This is the future. Human content creator cyborg. Apparently I'm burning through my boost. How do I get more boosts? You can also press surprise me. That's kind of fun. See, I just love doing this. So what I had to figure out is like, well, how can I do this and get paid for it? You know, how could I generate AI and get paid for it? Well, if what I'm doing is hosting an event to have these conversations, sponsors, attendees, partnerships, education, because part of it is not just doing an event, but building an online community where we're able to talk about these things and interview people and have that cycle continue to go. But the event would be kind of a portion of, I don't like, this is a cool image, but not what I was looking for. But I like that. That's a pretty cool image. Not sure about that one. This one is just too weird. I don't like that one at all. Too messy. Human content creator cyborg. I did use the word cyborg. That probably threw it off. Yeah, I mean, you just could not convince me there's a more fun technology today than AI image generation. And it's just getting better and better and better and better. In fact, today, as a matter of fact, Adobe announced Firefly. So Adobe oh, come on. Ad blocker. Firefly is a series of tools for creators. It's specifically generative AI made for creators. Unlimited creative options, fast. So I love this. I'm not sure I'd consider myself like someone who'd want to subscribe to it. But, you know, with it, imagine generating custom vectors, brushes, and textures from just a few words or even a sketch. Astounding video edits, simplified. So change the mood, atmosphere, or even the weather. Make a template from a mood board. Being able to turn simple 3D illustrations into composition, into photorealistic images. Being able to generate styles around, like let's say letters, like the letter N made of gold with intricate ornaments. In fact, let's try that. Let's try that over here. The letter N made of gold with intricate ornaments. To burn through another thing there, but just to show you this kind of stuff that Adobe's doing. So they got, those are the options. They talk about also what they're working on here in the future. Simple brush strokes, amazing results. Apply your unique style, natural looking photo mixing. Now let's go back here as I'm generating this image. Oops. It's coming through. As I see it, human interactions tend to be more zero-sum, whereas humans interacting with the TextSphere AI as its pinnacle is more often a positive sum. Well, the question I have is what's going to happen when we can no longer get a job? Because we can't. Like it's moved, it's edged us out, where someone's basically replaced it. And I still feel there's going to be a need for creators. So in many ways, this could very well lead to job opportunities at the event. Yeah, see, look at these ornate. These ends did not exist before. So it basically did the same thing differently. So that's the kind of stuff that you're able to do, right? With this kind of tool or technology. So so that's kind of what Adobe's doing. They're building it into their suite. You're going to see AI integrated into literally everything. I mean, the fact that it's going to be in Microsoft Office, and Google's tilting into it, like it's just these are going. This stuff is going to be in our products. I wonder, with AI generated content require some form of human intervention as far as content? So that's the question. It's a question of scalability. This is a great conversation to have, Hugo. Fantastic conversation, because I don't know. I think there's going to come a time, if there isn't already, where most of the content you see is not just algorithmically driven, but driven by science and through scalable means. I'll say that, whether it's AI or not, like scalable means to be able to because that's money right now, because it's advertising. That's where the money's made today, but that's today. Where's it going to be tomorrow? Where? Don't know. Today and tomorrow. Seems like tomorrow is coming faster and faster and faster and faster with everything that I've been seeing with AI in these tool sets. So speaking of, there was a Twitter thread from Matt Wolf. There are different AI video tools. There's ModelScope. So that it's a publicly available true text to video tool. So there's a monkey on roller skates. So this is on Hugging Face. So we say, hang on, what was it? Hugo? Who had that prompt earlier? The ET prompt? Someone had an ET. Oh, Grogu meets ET in the style of I don't know. That may be a little like, how about stormtrooper running through a field of wildflowers. Ooh, no. Yeah, it was busy. So now it's going to generate the video. We're going to watch this happen in real time. The link for this is in the Twitter feed. What? Shut up. There's the link. I'm trying to generate the video. Maybe I guess I can't move away from the page. I have to wait. Q 15 and 15. And it looks like it's going to take about 310 seconds if I'm reading this correctly. So what it's going to do, again, is generate, this is open source, generate a video that did not exist before I pressed the generation button. And if you don't think that's disruptive to people who create, or the companies that you might support, or the businesses, I don't think you're as clued in as I might be, eating, sleeping, and breathing and stuff. So the software that I see is compelling. It's exciting. The transformative nature of it is both frightening and exciting. Seeing it through the lens of a creator is also compelling, because I'm thinking, well, there's times that I'm like, I wish I had a video of a stormtrooper running through wildflowers. That'd be kind of fun. Now I know I could go here, generate it for free, as long as it doesn't crash out on me again. I think when I navigated away from the page, that's where it went. No, it didn't want me to do that. This is the kind of stuff that I see every day. This is what's constantly on my radar, because this is what's exciting to me. I know some people are into VR to a large degree. I'm more excited about AR than VR because of the motion sickness thing. But part of that is generating that content, the experience, by using these tools to just write out, instead of like scripting it, instead of writing, instead of fleshing it out. You can give the software a prompt and say, make a 3D model suitable for printing that is a castle, and then it creates a unique castle. I can download the castle, put the castle on my printer, and then I print a unique castle. That's coming. Big time. The ability to just prompt software to help you create something that did not exist before. Man, AR is fascinating to me. I like AR, right? I mean, I get excited when I see it, but I'm like, well, it's tangible, but still a little clunky, doesn't really have a real world application. But this, game over. Or game just beginning, right? That's the question. For some, it might be game over. When you have had your skills democratized to the point where someone could hire me to write something creatively, and I might be able to do it. And I can do it, but now it's just as easy to get the foundation for something, throw it through ChatGPT, and be done with it. And if it works well enough, it works well enough. And if it gives me enough of a starting point to take the ball and run with it, it did more than I could do on my own. That's the power of using technology as a starting point and as a catalyst for creativity. Because there are going to be jobs that will be replaced. And I know I believe, and maybe I just haven't had enough conversations with enough people who are quote unquote in the know. No one can predict the future. All I can sit there and say is, right now, this is incredibly disruptive technology. And where that leads is anybody's guess. My feeling is that we might get closer and closer and closer to turmoil, economically speaking, because if no one could get a job, because all the jobs are necessary, there aren't enough jobs to go around, and people can't afford to live anymore, something's got to change. Something's going to break. Something. I don't know what that something is. But today, people see it as a toy. They're playing around with it. But and when I say tomorrow, maybe this is a literal tomorrow. It's right around the corner. This is the stuff. I'm not saying this keeps me up at night, but it's had me reflecting very deeply on my place in this world, right? Yeah, messing around on live video and talking about tech trends and what have you. Clearly, you know, being creative is in my blood, and talking about technology is not something that I can easily avoid. But this is as close to a direction that I'm excited to go as I've had in the longest time. I've had, you know, like I said, an interest in 3D printing, but couldn't really see myself, you know, I didn't want to create a 3D printer company. Like I mean, I love doing it, but it's, you know, it's a hobby and there are a lot of people doing it. I couldn't create content the same way. So we've got MakerDeck going, and that I feel satisfies that itch. But something more, something deeper. And I feel like talking about transformative tech in the hands of creators is as exciting a prospect for everybody as it is for me. Because as this event evolves, and the construct for this event as it evolves, you're kind of there every step of the way. You'll be able to say, "Oh, I was in chat when you came up with the idea, when you were talking about it for the first time." Because what's going to happen is, months from now, I'll be standing, you know, in front of a crowd of at least 2 people, you know, hosting and driving the event for whatever it might be, whatever that might look like. And then I will have created something. So it's very much a part of being a creator, is creating something out of nothing. And now I'm not saying that artificial intelligence has robbed me of agency. I just have to recontextualize, well, what's the value that I'm creating? How can I be creative given these given the context of the way this is evolving, and these confines, these constrictions? What can I do with this? Where can I go with this? And so I have to come up with that answer sooner rather than later, because I can't wait. Okay, here we go. Stormtrooper running through. Here we go. Hey, we've got a video. Look at that. Save video as. Is it gonna let me save? Save video as. Oh, copy video address? There we go. Save. Right, I have saved it. And that's at Stormtrooper running through a field of wildflowers. That video was created dynamically. Right here. Created by AI. You're thinking, wow, that Stormtrooper sucks. That's a pretty short video. Dude. 3 months from now, it could be up to 10 seconds. A year from now, it could be a photorealistic Stormtrooper. I mean, entertainment, creatives, creators, this ish is shifting under our feet. That's just insane. So this is and mind you, this was all just on a tweet. That's how I found out about it, right? There's Kyber AI, allows you to start with an image or a text prompt and transform based on the prompts that you give it. So Kyber AI. So you've got, it looks like this may be a sign up, so I'm not going to jump through it. And there's pricing, so you could do it. But see, there are images. So that's Kyber. These are all video tech. Leia Pix. Upload an image and watch as Leia Pix transform that pictures into a 3D version of the image. So you see how it's doing this parallax version of the image. Let's see here. Do I have a good... Ooh, I know what I can do. I can grab the bunnies that I uploaded. I haven't uploaded them yet. The not Kyber bunnies. I don't want to log in. I want to log in. Okay. Anyway, you can do that there. I stop at login. I'm not gonna jump through that hoop. The link to this Twitter thread, by the way, is on Discord. Everything that I've been sharing here is pretty much on Discord. See a couple other comments. Another thing is, if more and more content is generated, inevitably the generated content will become input source material for more generated content. What then? Will it be like translating back and forth between languages over and over? It's an interesting question to ask, isn't it? At what point does artificial content edge out organic? At what point? Because I think that'll happen sooner rather than later. There's decoherence Easy user interface on top of Deforum. You can dial in all your settings, have the animation move to the beat of your music, and blend between multiple prompts. Decoherence. Oh, it's a download. This is all AI. All of it. Upload an image with a face on it, upload audio of someone speaking, or use text to speech, and it'll animate the image to go along with the words. That's DID. Gen 1 from Runway ML, of course. This is you can upload a video, pick an image prompt or text prompt to apply a new style to the video. We talked about this yesterday. Gen Mo AI. This one's really cool. You can mask out an area of an image and have it generate video in just the masked out area. This is an image you made in Midjourney. You masked out everything but the house. Stable Diffusion. You need to tweak videos frame by frame, but when you do it right, you can get some pretty cool results. That's all Stable Diffusion. So that's from Mr. Reflow. There. Just crazy. Speaking of crazy, there's a crazy new spy robot that gathers intelligence and then melts into a puddle. So you think you're stepping in water, you may be stepping in a soft robot. Other soft robot researchers have been successful, or that have seen success, include a magnetic slime that can transport medicine through the body. Magnetic slime. Robotic slime. This is cutting edge stuff here. Now that is interesting to me. Maybe not as interesting as what AI and content might be for me. But that's pretty much everything that's been dominating my my past day around here. I didn't intend for it to be mostly AI. It's just that's how it was. Like I said, AI has been dominating the news, and thank God, because I'm so tired of crypto bros and NFT talk. Our Roblox's new AI coding and art tools, the future of game development. So they're working on generative tools to build on their platform. Player creators. They create usable game code and in-game 2D surfaces using nothing but simple text descriptions. For those of you who play games, this is your intersection. This is your intersection. Right there. It's phenomenal to see what people are doing in building using these transformative tools to just be creative and enjoy. But at what point is everybody just playing a game? We can't work because there are no jobs, so all we're doing is playing games. Okay, that's fine, but like nobody can work because there's no jobs. So what are you gonna do? How are you gonna handle that? All right, so that's everything I had today. I'm glad I could do a little bit of on video demonstration. Hopefully you saw a couple new tools. I'll be tweeting out and sharing on Mastodon the Stormtrooper running through wildflowers. Thanks again for tuning in. I love you. I appreciate you. But at this point, I'm going to leave you to your own devices. May the force be with you always. We are talking tech. I am streaming 24 hours a day, welcoming anybody else to join along, doing geeky things, one thing or another. You can join us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at live.pirillo.com. We'll see you later.